Appreciate you clicking on this video, my movie peeps. We got so much wonderful movie news to talk about here today. Some of the stuff we're going to be discussing here is we got the release of the brand new Alien Romulus teaser trailer. Not just that, but we got our first look at Beetlejuice 2, and I owe some of you an apology. Popeye getting announced to get a live action movie. Oh, that along with so much more. So you beautiful people know the drill. Comment down below, hit that like button, smash it right now for me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and well, let's just dive into it. All right, starting off here, we got to go into the trailers released the past couple of days and determine whether they're trash or treasure, because as you know, one man's trash, another man's treasure. Starting off with Harold and the Purple Crayon. Now, I was flabbergasted only a few days ago whenever Sony released the first poster for this movie. Just the idea they turned that children's book that featured a baby with a purple crayon into grown man Zachary Levi had me hollering. And well, today we finally got the official trailer released, and as far as a kids movie goes, I'm sure this will be fine. I realize I am not the target demographic. This is not going to be to entertain me. I'm still going to have to see it and review it for you guys, but I would be lying to you if I said this at all caught my interest and I found it fascinating. I get real Spy Kids vibes from like the cinematography and layout of things going on. The idea is there for this to capture the attention of a couple of kids. I mean, yeah, you got this purple crown, you're drawing an airplane, you're drawing a monster, and they come to life. Yeah, I even got a bit of a chuckle whenever he's in the grocery store and he draws propellers on the helicopter and makes the kid fly away and the mom's just smashing through stuff. I'm like, okay, that could be some fun family comedy. But overall, I just get ridiculous vibes from this, and I will unfortunately have to give it trash. Just that transition from him going to a baby to then Zachary Levi in those Michael Myers overalls have me dying. This might become a new contender for meme movie, where the memes about it will redeem it and make it something we joke around about. This could be the new Cat in the Hat for some generation. This is probably what it was like for older people when they saw the original Cat in the Hat and they were like, oh, this is trash, this is dumb. But then there was 7-year-old snot me going, this is cinema. There's gonna be a kid out there going, this is cinema, to Harold and the Purple Crayon. You wait. Let them grow up and tell you how much they love this movie. Let me know what you guys thought about the trailer for Harold and the Purple Crayon. Next up, a trailer I've been dying to see get some sort of release: In a Violent Nature. I talked about this movie on stream a couple of weeks ago, and the reason I found it really intriguing is because this movie is essentially like, what if we had a Friday the 13th movie where the entire movie was told from the perspective of Jason Voorhees? And now you see this idea come to life in this 1-minute 40-second trailer, and I am game for it. It is so cool to have those shots of the camera sit right on the shoulder of the killer, and then it looks like the takedowns in this movie are going to be brutal. This actually also premiered at festivals earlier in the year, so some people got to see it and review it. They really did like it. They said it was gory and it was intense. The only complaint I was seeing from different reviews is that the movie takes a while to get going, but that kind of makes sense to me. If we're having a Friday the 13th movie and we're flipping the perspective, we're no longer following the, you know, crazy teenagers drinking, partying, doing the nasty, showing their tatas. Instead, we're just following the guy in the woods, watching them from afar, waiting for the moment to attack, getting them one by one as they separate until the final act where it's just a full-on frenzy, right? So that kind of makes sense to me why they say it's slow in the beginning and then it gets more intense as it goes on. Because in all the horror movies, the stalker doesn't do much until the end of the film. I'm also glad it is going to get a theater release. It's probably going to be a limited thing like a lot of these Shudder movies. Like, heck, I know this Thursday I'm going to go see Late Night with the Devil, provide a review for you guys, but I don't think that's going to be in theaters for long because then it's going to end up on their streaming service. But I'm giving this trailer a treasure because I like the new and exciting different direction it's going. Slasher movies still continue to be somewhat inventive, and I appreciate that. But hollerin' succotash, we got our first teaser trailer for Alien Romulus today. Just 1-minute trailer, but holy moly does this look good. I told you guys, I was very excited for this Alien Romulus movie, mainly when they announced that Fede Alvarez would be the director of it, because I know he had a history of making some good horror movies, Don't Breathe and the Evil Dead remake. So part of me was like, he's gonna bring the horror back into the Alien franchise with the xenomorphs and re-inject some energy into this franchise that I felt lost its way a little bit. Now, when I say that, I know there are people who are fans of Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I still get asked all the time about, like, well, Chris, are they going to continue that? They left a cliffhanger. I want to see a third movie and the conclusion to that. It looks like that's not going to be the case, and we're never really going to get that conclusion. And while I did enjoy what Prometheus and Covenant were attempting to do in going the larger sci-fi route, asking profound questions about what it means to be a living thing, the hidden origin of the xenomorphs and all that, it lost its way from being Alien. This right here feels like exactly what we needed. An almost smaller scale, just a couple of younger cast members stuck in this one location where a bunch of little face huggers seem to be popping out wanting to attack them, along with a couple of xenomorphs, and those horrifying screams you hear in the trailer. Oh dude, this thing looks brutal and fun. Now along with this trailer, Fede Alvarez also did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter where he really went in detail to his thought process in making this movie, and I read the whole thing, so I'll give you the kind of cliff notes. He mentions that this movie will be taking place between Alien 1 and Alien 2, but even though it's an in-between sequel, he says in the movie there's going to be things that connect it to all the past Alien films, that he's a big fan of all of them, from Alien to Alien Covenant. He's also said his inspiration for casting younger people in this movie is from a deleted scene from James Cameron's Aliens where we saw a little kid riding a tricycle. He always wondered what would it be like for those kids to grow up in this universe, on this planet, and how differently would young minds react to trying to survive a xenomorph attack. The thing though that excited me the most in this interview though is his use of practical effects. He got the special effects team that worked on James Cameron's Aliens to bring back people in suits along with animatronics, but at the same time he wasn't against using CGI in certain moments. There's minimal green screen in this movie, and all of that I think is gonna show. Just the small sneak peeks of this teaser trailer, it looks really cinematic. It looks very inviting. The vibe reminds me a lot of that first Alien movie. And again, no hate to Alien Covenant, because I appreciated the story route they were going with, but an all CGI xenomorph that was just on top of a spaceship crawling around, sure, but it just wasn't scary anymore to me. It was just like, it's just there. The magic of a xenomorph is a little gone. Last thing I'll mention also is that he said both James Cameron and Ridley Scott have seen his movie and they loved it. Take that to mean what you want though, because James Cameron has like loved every Terminator sequel after his, and I know fans are very divided on every Terminator sequel after 2. Overall though, this looks amazing. I'm glad it's getting a theater release. Now we just wait for Predator's next movie, and look, I just want there to be a crossover. Just one movie. You don't have to Avengers style it. You don't have to cinematic universe it, but I want a versus movie, please. Let them touch. Let me know what you guys thought about the trailer for Alien Romulus and if you got as hyped as I did. Moving on here, let's talk about some other news stories that popped up the past couple of days that had me going, oh, all right. First off, we got the announcement that we're getting a live action Popeye the Sailor Man. Now, I don't know for my younger kids in here if you're even familiar with Popeye the Sailor Man, but dude, I did grow up with a little bit of Popeye in my life. The little fragments of memories I have of Popeye the Sailor Man, from the sound effects, the theme songs, the little moments in there, I always enjoyed the character. I was also sad that we never got to see that animated movie that was completed but never got released. We don't have much details on what they'll do here, but they do mention it's gonna be a big budget feature, and the screenwriter, Michael Gallo, is someone who worked on The Sopranos, so it's like, oh, they're actually gonna take this seriously. I'm all up for it, just to bring some new love to an old character, because there's definitely a gap of a generation that have no idea who Popeye is, and if they do this right, the character will live for a lot longer. So get your spinach out, take a bite, and have some fun. Let me know if you guys are excited for a live-action Popeye movie. One movie announcement that a lot of people might not care about, but it definitely excited me, is we got the announcement of a Tourist Trap sequel. For those of you who don't know, it was a horror movie that came out in 1979 that follows a group of people who stumble upon a museum on the side of the road, and once they go into it, strange things begin to happen, and there's an interesting stalker in there with a certain set of powers. That's all pretty much say. I actually rewatched this movie like 2 or 3 years ago, and I still liked it. It was to the point that I found myself going, man, I kind of wish they would do this movie again in today's modern age, or they would do something more with it. The killer in the movie is a little different, and I feel like kind of ahead of its time for what we were used to back then. So it's kind of cool to see the producer of that movie say that they want to make a sequel all these years. They want to make it clear it's not going to be a remake. They're not going to be trying to recreate the magic of the original film. They're just, I guess, going to try to make another movie. And you know, that's always scary. I feel like that's been the new trend with a lot of horror icons, is just do a direct sequel to that original. Sometimes it works, sometimes it fails miserably. But I'm down to see it if it turns out good. Any other horror fans out there excited for Tourist Trap to get a sequel all these years later? Jumping now into an update involving the Minecraft movie, because Jack Black just gave us a story detail that is kind of confusing me. So when doing an interview in promotion for the movie Kung Fu Panda 4, Jack Black revealed this plot element for the live action Minecraft movie, saying the movie takes place before Minecraft was even invented. So it's kind of an origin story. Now, maybe this is because my knowledge level of Minecraft is pretty basic and surface level, but I'm like, What do you mean it's about the origin of Minecraft? We know this isn't one of those movies where it's about like the creator of the Minecraft game or it's a history of how Minecraft created. No, this is one of those movies where it's going to be a CGI hybrid. Jack Black is playing Steve, a character within Minecraft. The creative team has mentioned about being scared of creating another Sonic situation where they start off with a bad design and fans demand they redesign it. So all in all, it seems to me like it's at least going to be a movie where we go from the real world into the Minecraft world or vice versa. But to then now say it's the origin story of Minecraft, I guess maybe it could be both? Maybe it's a fictional telling of the origin story of Minecraft where it's like someone created it, almost like Tron, jumped into the world and then starts selling it as a video game by the end of the movie. I don't know, it's honestly very confusing and takes me by surprise, and I'm going to be more curious to hear the fan theories on how you guys think that'll work. So how do you feel about Jack Black saying that this movie is about Minecraft before it was even invented and it's kind of an origin story? Something else I wanted to dive into before the Beetlejuice first look is we had Adam Wingard, the director of Godzilla x Kong, give us an update on his upcoming live-action Thundercats movie. It feels like half of today's SideFlick is talking about properties your grandpa or dad probably know about. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my dad, my uncles, they love Thundercats. That's one of the things they're always asking me. Is there ever going to be a Thundercats movie, mijo? And I tell them I hear there's one coming, but I don't know. And well, Adam Wingard doing his promotions for a Godzilla x Kong gave us an update that I do think sounds exciting. He said here, Simon and I are still actively working on the script. We finished our last draft basically right when I was going into production on this movie, Godzilla x Kong. And we just had to put everything on hold, but right now we're actively working on it again. So whether that means that's the next thing I do or not, I'm not sure, but it's definitely one of the top priorities I have right now in terms of working on a script. He also then hinted at what we can expect from the project, saying, I will say this, our Thundercats adaptation is going to be really, really cool. I don't think a lot of people are prepared for how long Adam Wingard has spent thinking about Thundercats. They are not ready for Adam's Thundercats movie. It's going to destroy. And you know what? After all the clips that have been released for Godzilla x Kong and how zany and wacky Adam Wingard has taken that world, whether for better or worse, because I understand there are some complaints of the goofy nature of the new movie, to me, it is my cup of tea. Kong with that gauntlet, Godzilla going pink, it just feels like an awesome cartoon come to life. And well, this is literally a cartoon they're about to bring to life. Adam Wingard seems perfectly fit to make this universe pop. And you know, in other interviews, Adam Wingard's mentioned that he's loved this franchise since he was a kid, that he's always wanted to do something with it. So I think this is one of those franchises that could be big if done right. The mythology is there, the potential is there, the characters are cool, but again, that just might be me talking because I'd hate to see my dad and uncles disappointed when this movie comes out and it's not great, because I know how much they love it. Any Thundercats fans out there excited for the movie? And then that brings us into our first look of Beetlejuice 2, titled Beetlejuice. And I have something to say here today, guys. I've talked about it before. Every time I've brought up Beetlejuice in the past in the sequel, I said, you know, I don't think I'm a fan of that first movie. I saw it as a kid. It never wowed me. I barely have memories of it. And of course, with the new movie coming up and all of you telling me, Chris, you're dead wrong. You need to go see that movie again. What are you talking about, Chris? I popped it in like a week or two ago. I don't know what y'all talking about. I was always a fan. I always liked that movie. Y'all don't got proof I've said anything different. Yeah, I get it now. I just must have seen that movie way too young, and that's why I had fragmented memories or was bored with it as a kid. But seeing it now, it's one of those movies where you finish watching it and then you go, dang, they don't make them like this anymore. Such a cool, zany idea. All the practical effects, from the prosthetics to the monsters to even the idea itself of Beetlejuice being an exterminator. I was wrong, and that's why I love this community, because y'all pushed me to watch some greatness and give it a second opinion. So I can actually say now I'm actually excited for this movie and where it's headed. Looking at Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice, boy looks great. Maybe it's the makeup, but it looks like he hasn't aged a day in the role. And honestly, even if he did age, his wrinkles and whatnot will just help him as Beetlejuice more, because he's not supposed to look great. He's supposed to look disgusting, deteriorated. Honestly, my biggest hope for this movie is a lot more Michael Keaton, because I felt there wasn't enough of him in that first movie. Then we also got a photo of the family members from the first movie coming back, Winona Ryder and her daughter, played by Jenna Ortega, who's named Astrid in this movie. And all they would mention right now before we we get our trailer tomorrow is that a death in her family occurs and then Beetlejuice is called in to help. I wonder if they're going to try and lead into a third movie, because you can't tell me with that title Beetlejuice, they're not thinking about that third Beetlejuice. Another thing I'm really looking forward to with Beetlejuice 2 is that Tim Burton and Michael Keaton have talked about there is going to be minimal CGI in this movie, that they wanted to stick to practical effects, handmade stuff, and just keeping a quality similar to the first movie. And that's really what helped me appreciate Beetlejuice all these years later, because yeah, there's some wonky effects in that first movie, but the practical effects make it hold up to this day. Let me know what you guys think about the first look of Beetlejuice 2 and what you hope to see from the trailer tomorrow. But anyways, guys, that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.